We're back.
Yes, we are back. We've been gone for 2 weeks. Where have we been, Spencer?
We went to Disneyland World.
We were in Florida for a week, so that's why we have not.
That's why
this is going late.
That's why this is coming out on Sunday and not on Friday.
Yes, but we got some new stuff. First of all, there's going to be 3 videos out this week on this channel, so that's going to be fun.
Yep, we've got 3 videos planned out. We've got things we are getting done. We're getting shit done today.
Yes,
this week.
Yes, but today we are going to go see the much anticipated and incredibly well received at this very point in time, X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Now, as is well known, X-Men has been one of those franchises that's just there. I mean, you have the Avengers, and yes, there's a lot of anticipation revolving around X-Men movies all the time, but in between shots, you don't see like Hugh Jackman, X-Men, and then set photos all the time. But the hype that this movie is getting, because it's linking the 2 movies from the 2 Bryan Singer movies from before, and the Matthew Vaughn world that he created with X-Men First Class, and not the Brett Ratner version. Fuck Ratner. Hashtag fuck Ratner.
Hashtag fuck Ratner. But anyway, this movie looks incredibly awesome. I'm so excited to see Bryan Singer returning to the director's chair after 2 sucky movies with Superman Returns and Jack the Giant Slayer.
Yeah, this is his comeback. But ladies and gentlemen, this is his comeback, gentlemen, because there really aren't any. Because I don't think any ladies watch this channel.
I don't think they do either. But we are heading to the theater, so we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Cranking up Phillips.
Guys, so we're just getting out of the movie, but Spencer's in the car already because I went to go get a refill on my Coke. But I went back over to the car and we just saw the most awesome way they could have made this movie. Bryan Singer's genius. Hold on one second, let me get in the car. Hi, that's Spencer. Hey guys, so
movie's done, and
I already told him the intro. I already shot the intro, Spencer, and so that's what you get for making it all the way out to the car without me.
Whatever. It was incredible.
Yep, that was the best possible way. Again, that was the best possible way they could have made this movie happen. It was amazing.
Now, let's talk about one thing. Anna Paquin, they made it kind of a big deal that she was coming back.
Then they made it a big deal that she was cut from the movie.
They did recently, a little bit before this movie came out, they released a little bit of news that she did make it into the movie, but her part was reduced in the editing rather than being just cut completely. Now, come the credits. Now, Rogue doesn't show up. Anna Paquin's character doesn't show up until the end of the movie when everything, clears up.
We're not going to do any spoilers. It's going to be really difficult not to do spoilers, but we're going to not do spoilers.
She has a 20-second cameo in the end of what they got for the final cuts. Now, what they did in the credits was, it was the usual ones: Hugh Jackman, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Halle Berry,
Jennifer Lawrence,
Anna Paquin.
As if she
got billed in there before they mentioned Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart,
who were billed last, but they're the biggest stars in the movie. But they're the biggest stars in the movie. Usually, you bill them last.
Then we take into account that, and then later in the credits, when they did the crawl, Peter Dinklage was billed below her, which he's the villain of the movie.
Okay, I think enough of that. But now let's go a little bit more in depth into Days of Future Past. I don't know why I spaced on the movie, but let's go a little deeper into it, shall we? First start things off with the directing. Bryan Singer returns for his third X-Men movie and basically saves the franchise.
We can't tell you how exactly he just totally saves the franchise. In fact, our statement before actually holds a little bit more weight.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it's going.
And I think we should probably go into the acting now.
Hugh Jackman pulled off Wolverine again. He's never
for the 7th time.
If these movies come out bad, he's never what's wrong with
whether it was X3 or X-Men Origins Wolverine, he's been in every single X-Men movie, so this is his 7th time playing the character. I don't think he can do it wrong, especially since it was a breakout performance.
James McAvoy came in and he did his Charles Xavier. It's a different character now. In the first movie, he was that spoiled little kid who could understand everyone just by thrusting his hand to his chest.
So
we had to cut out for a sec, but that's all right.
All right, so Patrick Stewart returns, and
he has very little screen time, but he just nails it because, let's face it, he basically created his version of the character in these movies. So,
and there was a part in this movie where James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart are talking. It is so well acted. We were almost the two of us were almost reduced to bawling in the middle of this high energy, intense movie, because these two men standing there. I'm actually getting a little misty right now talking about it, but these two guys were acted the hell out of the scene.
The main point of it is that James McAvoy went from that, as I was saying earlier, from that kid who was just, I can see inside your head just by putting my hand and my fingers to my temples and your ankles and seeing what's going on in your head. But now he's a broken man. He's lost everything in his life. Everything has just gone downhill in the 10 years since last saw young Charles Xavier.
And it is so different. It is so different. I love everything about this movie. It was so amazing. There were so much stuff going on.
Halle Berry returned and rocked it for the brief amount of time she was in it. Let's face it, this is called Days of Futures Past, but they spend more time in the past than they do in the future.
And Ellen Page is always a great actress. She is such an inspiration to young actresses everywhere, especially with the current events that have happened with her. She is such an inspiration to everybody. And it was so amazing to see her act in this very emotional and pivotal part of the movie, even though she's not in it as much, because, again, they're not in the future as much as they are in the past.
Now, we could go all day listing off all the cameos, but that would be spoilers, and we do not want to do that.
But I think before we're done, I think we should bring up the two villains of the movie, which are
Peter Dinklage and Michael Fassbender, both
as well as Ian McKellen, tag teaming as the villains.
Ian McKellen actually does not play villainous Magneto. He plays Magneto in this timeline where he is not a villain. He's not this monstrous creature. And
Ian and Patrick, again, they're not in the future. Takes place mainly in the past, but we do jump into the future, and the two of them and Ian and Patrick have the best chemistry I've ever seen. I've seen them in interviews. I love watching them. You can tell they've been friends for a long time, and it's the kind of thing you only experience of years of friendship when you see them together. The two of them, they can play off each other, they can work together amazingly. They're just great friends. They're joking around all the time on interviews. It's amazing.
And they've worked together on more than just X-Men, in fact, so that's how that rolls. In fact, today, happy birthday to Ian McKellen.
Yes, it's Ian's birthday.
We're shooting and possibly uploading this on Ian McKellen's birthday.
So happy birthday to you, Ian, if you see this.
Which is highly unlikely,
but happy birthday. Hey, so you did great in the movie. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for bringing us Magneto and Gandalf.
But let's just move on to the next. We've got all kinds of other stuff. Like, the screenwriting was incredibly good because of the fact that it just X'd out all the stuff you did not like about the franchise so far. It took all of that.
No pun intended. It X'd it all out.
It grabbed the whole franchise. It basically destroyed the franchise and just rebuilt it from the ground up.
Now, obviously, we can't go into exactly what happened, but that was kind of a spoiler. Not really that much of one.
But this is going to lead. But also, one more thing: stay through the whole credits. I cannot tell you how many times I've been sitting in a superhero movie recently, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, amateurs. Whenever people walk out, once directed by comes off, because that's not how these movies work. That's not
That's
how
not how
movies are.
That's not how a superhero movie works anymore.
It used to be directed by Sam Raimi. Spider-Man directed by Sam Raimi. Okay, let's go home and let's go home and hope that we can beat traffic.
But now you have to wait till the end, and in our theater, everybody, we're in a crowded, if the theater is basically full, half of them get up and walk out immediately the second the credits come out. Then the mid-credit scene comes on, and then once that's done, everybody stands up.
About half of that group walks out.
And then what's left is about
maybe 7 or 8 people.
7 or 8 people, including us. So
yeah, that just shows who reads these fan sites and stuff to know.
We don't even have to read the fan sites anymore to know that we're going to be we're sitting through the credits of a superhero movie to see the end credits scene.
So stay through the end credits of this movie if you want to be in the know for the next X-Men movie, X-Men Apocalypse.
We actually had to go home and do homework because we have no clue what's going on in this post-credit scene. But we have to, so now we have to go home, do homework, figure this out, and
then run through, and then go, oh my god, this is gonna be awesome!
And now, going back to the writing quick, I want to say that this was actually written very differently. They play off everybody gets played off in a certain way. Quicksilver, he's in, then he gets out of the way. They don't overpower us with a new hero, they don't overpower us with the old guys. But more importantly, this is a very Mystique-based movie.
In fact, in a way, it's like we're watching 2 movies right here, because we've got the 60s movie, which kind of connects with, which is kind of the main plot to the movie. But then we've got the future movie. But then we've got the movie set in the post-apocalyptic future that kind of that is supposed to set the movie up. It's like we're watching 2 different movies. It's going off each other.
And with Mystique, it's great that she's played by Jennifer Lawrence, because she is in her own right a mutant, because she is such a great actress. She has got mutant acting powers here, so
yeah. So, but there were the whole point. But this was incredible. This Mystique proved. This is once again. It's been 10 years since First Class, so characters have disappeared. Characters have evolved. Mystique has gone from just Magneto seems to have some good points, I should go with him, to I need to do this because this is who I am now. This is what I have to do to become.
I finally figured out what I have to become to stop men like him. Dark Knight reference!
Oh yeah. Alright, so I think we should so taking all this criteria, sending it back in time and watching it, letting it drown in getting it thrown into a river and drowning.
Spoiler alert!
We're
not going to tell you that was not a spoiler, was it? We don't know. Anyway,
taking everything into account with acting, directing, writing, and many other things, including our own personal entertainment in there, I am willing to announce that I'm willing to endorse this movie with a 10 out of 10, which I have probably only given like once or twice since we started the series. I'm
going to give it a 10 out of 10 too, but I got to warn people quick. The one thing I didn't like about this movie was that it kind of started out slow. But it starts off slow, but the payoff is so amazing.
But anyway, so this is not the first video of the week. This is the first video of the week, but it is not the last. We will see you again on Tuesday. What? Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday. You'll see why.
You'll see why. We're not going to we're not even going to give spoilers away for our next video.
Yeah, so if you are if you are just stumbling upon this and you have not already subscribe to this channel to find out what's going on this Tuesday, which would be May 27th.
Yes, you can also don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, follow us on Twitter, to go on our other channels, links down below. But more importantly, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And what did you think of X-Men? What did you think?
Don't forget to say what you thought of X-Men.
Down in the comments below, say what you thought about X-Men Days of Future Past. No spoilers in the credits, or you're a Nazi. And finally, he also leave down in the comments below what movies you think we should go see. Yeah, and you want to hear from us about. But
In
otherwise,
fact, even leave some new movies, some old movies. Maybe they're on Netflix or Redbox, and we can watch those.
yeah.
Pause and watch and review those, huh?
But until next time, guys, we will see you later at the movies.